Article 13. Of a gospel church. We believe that a visible church of Christ is a congregation of baptized believers associated by covenant in the faith and fellowship of the gospel, observing the ordinances of Christ, governed by his laws, and exercising the gifts, rights, and privileges invested in them by his word. That its only scriptural officers are bishops or pastors and deacons, whose qualifications, claims, and duties are defined in the epistles to Timothy and Titus. Last article ended with talking about the church, the visible church. What is the church? Sometimes in Scripture, the church refers to basically the elect of God, in all times, all places, every generation. That would be the invisible church, which is really only totally known by God himself. But most often in the New Testament, when we see the term church, it's referring to a visible, local expression of the invisible, universal church. It's true, the church is not a building, it's a people. But the church is something you can see. It's an institution with clear markers and boundaries about who is in and who is out. As the statement says, it's a congregation, it's a gathering, it's an assembly of baptized believers. The church is comprised only of those who give public evidence of belief. You have to be a believer to be in the church, and baptism is the visible sign that goes with entry into the visible church. So a congregation of baptized believers associated by covenant in the faith and fellowship of the gospel. So in order to join a visible expression of the church, you have to be a baptized believer and formally associate with other specific baptized believers by means of a covenant, some commitment, some vow that you say, I am committed to these people in this place in certain tangible ways. The statement goes on to say that a church observes the ordinances of Christ, that is, baptism and the Lord's Supper, which we're going to talk about more in the next article. Suffice it to say that this is describing church as something different than two Christians hanging out on the golf course or some roommates having spiritual conversations in a dorm room. That's not what the New Testament has in mind when it speaks of church. It's talking about something more formal. Place for accountability, also a place to serve and to use your gifts and to live out the picture of church life that the New Testament gives us. The visible church also has recognized officers, as outlined in 1 and 2 Timothy and Titus. The first office is that of bishop or pastor. Two terms are interchangeable, and there's also a third term in Scripture that's used to refer to the same office. That's elder. These are the spiritual overseers or shepherds of the church. And then there's the office of deacon. These are the recognized servants in the church. Notice how this article assumes that in a single visible church, there will be plural pastors and elders, or pastors and deacons. Bottom line here is that elect individuals, called, regenerated, converted, justified, being sanctified, persevering in faith, all that is designed to happen in the context of a specific visible church under the leadership, the care of pastors and served by deacons. A churchless Christianity is an oxymoron.